I want to talk to you about how to build local citations and get seen everywhere online this year. Okay. Let me first quickly talk to you about trends that you really want to pay attention to. So, if you are a small business targeting local customers, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a marketer, really focusing on local customers, local SEO can still generate a great deal of traffic for you, a great and sustainable ROI. Okay, and it has become actually simpler and more predictable than other forms of SEO. I'm speaking about local SEO. Okay, so your ROI can be pretty much more optimized, if you will. Your return on investment. That said, an aspect of local SEO that's often misunderstood is local citations. And this is because many people don't know whether citations impact map listings, organic listings, or both. Most people are not really sure how many citations they need to build or how frequently they need to build them. So there is an element of timing, but also frequency. Citations are often confused with updating information across data providers and NAP consistency. And citations are sometimes confused with, let's say, links and link building. Okay. And most importantly, and this is important, many people, entrepreneurs, many small business owners are not sure whether they should contract out work on citation building or do it themselves. Okay. And if they should do it themselves, how to do it in the first place. So, into this conversation, I really want to address a lot of important topics that are related to local citations. So, if you're not interested in the nitty gritty and just want an answer on how you to handle citations for your small business, just go to you want to forward to the last 3 minutes of this show. So, fast forward 10 minutes, okay? And this is where I'll give you the answer that you really need. So basically, let me first define for you what local citations really are. A local citation is actually an online mention of any business. In the context of local SEO, this typically refers to a structured listing on an external website that includes the business name, address, and phone number. So that's the NAP, okay? And these are usually listings of any of a variety of sites, most frequently directory style websites, and they come in different flavors, such as general local business information across all types of business. I'm speaking about Yelp or Yellow Pages. You have industry specific, that is a directory of home remodeling companies across the US, and location specific. For instance, a directory of small businesses in Mississippi. Okay, so that's important. So let's say that you own a home remodeling business in Oxford, Mississippi. You can actually get your business listed on general sites like the Yellow Pages. Okay, so you go to a Chamber of Commerce, government or travel directories, or other town, city, county, or other state directories. You can do the same thing for New York. Let's say you are in New York, for instance. You own a home remodeling or a plumbing business in New York. You are able to have all kinds of possibilities there. Okay, so this is important. Or you can find directories focused on construction or resources for homeowners. Now, a question that I hear all the time is that basically, are local citations actually links? Because there are a lot of confusion as to the nature of local citations. Okay, the first question is when it comes. The first thing you need to remember here is that local citations are not links. Okay, many local citations that you build will include links to your website, but some will not. The focus in building citations is not solely to get links, it's to actually have your business listed in key directories where legitimate small businesses frequently appear, and in local and industry directories to help signal to Google that your business is noteworthy and trustworthy when it comes to your business focus and location. Now, that said, building citations will typically lead to an increase in the number of links to your website as many sites will allow you to include a link. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, business citations is not really the same as NAP consistency. So NAP consistency refers to the consistency with which your business listings across the web and with major data providers is the same. So if your business has changed names, addresses, phone numbers, websites, etc., you may have inconsistent data in different listings on the web. This can actually hurt local rankings because it's actually a signal to Google that your business may not be reliable and trustworthy. Okay, so building citations generally refers to the practice of creating new local citations for your business, which is not the same as updating your existing citations for consistency. But many vendors will simultaneously work on cleaning up any NAP inconsistencies, claiming your business profiles in places where you may not have known they exist, updating them in instances where you, a vendor, or someone within your own company may have created them before, changing business name, phone number, or physical address. Okay, but also building out new citations. So, how valuable are citations in the first place? If you think about how to build local citations, basically, you have to understand that local citations can be really critical depending on the niche that you're in. Okay, it's important to understand that basically the answer to the question how valuable are citations depends on the niche you're in, but also the vision your business has. Let me give you a few things to actually pay attention to. Many practitioners, many advertisers, many entrepreneurs, many marketers, okay, actually have seen maps rankings improve when building local citations. So they do likely have a positive impact here. The listings showing up for branded searches, and the listings that are indexed, okay, basically are likely to have the largest impact. If you are in a low competition vertical with limited resources, you are likely best served sticking to those citations. And if you are in a more competitive market, you're likely best served to at least test building out regular citations over time to determine their impact on both your maps and organic rankings. Okay. Now, how many local citations does your business need? It really depends. Again, it depends on the niche you're in, but also the vision that you have. Because in terms of how many local citations your business needs, let me just give you a few guidelines, okay? And then you can figure out what number is good for you from there. So every business should have citations on the top 10 to 20 most important sites, 10 to 20. And a standard starting point is to build actually about 50 citations, particularly if your business is in a very competitive market. The more citations you have, the better, okay? So if you are in a very competitive market and you want to test regular citation building, 10 to 25 is the standard range. But the more you have, the better, okay? I've seen actually marketers and entrepreneurs go from 50 to 75, especially in very competitive markets in a large metropolis. Okay, if you take a, uh, a metro area such as New York or Dallas or LA, for instance, you want to have as many citations as possible. So what's the strategy here? So how can you build local citations, local SEO citations yourself? One thing I need to explain here is that building local citations is actually very time consuming. Okay, but let me give you a simple trick to really implement yours this year. First, you want to start by making sure you have the right information to bring to the citation building process, namely your company name, your address, the phone number, the description, the URL. So use your website's homepage as you submit local citations. Think also about the categories. So have your categories ready. So if you have optimized your GBP, your Google Business Profile, you likely know this. but also your email. So you usually want to set up an email dedicated to citations, okay, and that someone will occasionally monitor, as you can sometimes get spam and cold outreach at those addresses. So it's always a good idea to keep a spreadsheet handy and add fields that you run across as you are building citations to your sheet, as they will often come up again and again and again, okay? So for instance, if a site asks you for an alternate phone number, plug what you submit there into your spreadsheet, or in some cases, if the field is optional, you may want to just leave those blank. It depends on the choice that you want to really pursue. You also want to be able to access the email you are going to use and be able to access the phone number you are given for verification across those citations, okay? That's important. Now, let me quickly talk about the company name. Company name, you might think this is simple enough, but you got to be careful here, okay? You want this to be consistent with your Google business profile and with your official company name or DBA name, doing business as. So, for instance, if your company name is Tom's Construction, but you want to rank well for bathroom remodeling jobs in search results, just calling yourself Tom's Construction and Bathroom Remodeling can get you into trouble with name, address, phone consistency, right? The NAP consistency. So be very careful there. So, how do you find citation opportunities this year? I mean, if you're looking for ways to build citations, you have a lot of opportunities. The question is that just make sure that you are using directories that really fit your business profile. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your time, wasting your brain's value, if you will. Okay. First of all, you want to get on the top citation sites. That's actually the simplest way to start. Okay. Make sure you have the major players and most common citation sources covered first. So you want to start with this. I will put this on the screen, so at least I make sure that you don't miss none of those. Okay, and it's important to make sure that you definitely appear on each of them. So you have a Google Business Profile. So that's the first citation you want to focus on, Google Business Profile. Then you want to be on Apple Maps. You want to be on Facebook because Facebook has about 3.2 billion monthly users. So you want to really capture a part of that traffic, okay? And I mean, you also have Foursquare. I mean, not a lot of folks, not a lot of entrepreneurs know the power of Foursquares, but Foursquare is big, okay? And that power is growing all the time. You have Bing Places. You have Yelp, and then you have Yellow Pages. So that's actually the 7 big players you want to really focus on. First, from there, you can also get to 50 plus local citations easily by leveraging lists like, I mean, I actually have one list that I have found, and actually it's the top 50 citations by White Spark, okay? Another one by Brad Local, etc. Okay, it's important to understand that you want to get as many lists as possible. Later on, I'll explain to you how to evaluate different citations. Okay, and you also want to think about submitting your business information to data aggregators. So while it's not a direct citation, by having your data submitted to the major data aggregators, you can then have those sites submit your data to multiple additional directories in turn, right? So that's really good from a scalability point of view. So let me give you the 4 largest data aggregators this year. Again, I'll put this on the screen. So if you're interested in that citation strategy, go for it. First, you have Data Axle, very, very big. Then you have a North Star Localize, another big one. Of course, you have Foursquare. A lot of folks know Foursquare. And then you have Factual. So if you submit it to this 11 places, so the 7 major players and the 4 data aggregators, you'll be off to a good start. And in some niches and in some areas, You may even be ahead of some of your competitors. Okay. In even a moderately competitive industry or geography combination, though, all your competitors will have these citations too. Now, how can you get more impactful citations? So you want to look at competitor citations, right? It's about time you emulate them, what they're doing. Okay, I mean the quality and impact a citation has will vary depending on your industry and geography. So there are some ways to gauge likely impact here. So you want to start by looking at competitors. Think more about your SERP, your search engine result page competitors, than your real life competitors, because if they're not your competitors here in real life, they are your competitors online. The company you think of as your closest competitor may not be the company you are competing with for real estate in search engine results. Okay, so that's important. And so, what you want to do here is that you want to really pay attention to how often they pop up on Facebook for many queries. Okay, what kind of directories they are choosing, and what kind of local citations they have. For instance, are they having a triple B and Chamber of Commerce listings? Okay, and so you can use actually this sort of process to help prioritize citations if you have limited time and resources, and to find new citation opportunities yourself. So once you have a sense of which competitor seems to be getting a lot of these types of citations, which you can usually tell by just looking at the search results that I just gave you a little earlier, you can then unearth more citation opportunities by going to google.com and tapping competitor website, and you put that, colon, and then you put your own information. As you scroll through the results, you can really start to find some gems that may not show up just by searching for the competitor name. So this is a useful tactic as well, because it allows you to see which citations Google views as most relevant to your competitor's site, filter out other companies with a similar name in different areas, and find a list of citations that your competitor has that are all indexed by Google. So that's kind of important. You can also use SEO tools. You can use paid tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush or MozPro to look at the backlinks a competitor has to see which sites are linking to them, and paid local SEO tools like Bright Local and WhatSpark. They also offer tools to find citations generally, and you can also look at competitor citations as well. How do you make sure your citations are indexed in the first place? So if Google does not acknowledge your citations, there's not really any value in having them. So checking to see if your specific citation is indexed is actually a good way to determine if the citations has been counted by Google, right? So to manually do this for one citation is pretty simple. Just go to Google and type in site colon directory.com. Okay, and you can just if you see your listings, that means it's indexed. If not, then your listings or a competitor's listing likely is not indexed. So be careful there. So if you want to check your citations in bulk, it's a little trickier, but you can use some paid tools and services like URL Profiler or Index Checker. So if you find your URL, your URLs are not getting indexed, there are a few methods you can use to get them indexed. You can share a link to the profile on social media. You can use services like Index Me Now or similar. Now, a couple of things to be aware of with indexing services. Often these services use things like social media profiles or low quality sources to force indexation of pages. For third party profiles, that's not usually an issue, but it's not a great idea to fire this type of activity at your website. They will occasionally fail to get your page indexed. Usually, they will refund in these instances, and it's not uncommon that they get a page indexed and then it later falls out of the index, which is why it's a good idea to replicate citations that are already indexed, as it's a signal that Google is likely to index and leave indexed your own citations. So this is important. And if you are in a particularly competitive industry and geography and you want to go beyond the core citations and your direct competitors' best citations, there are a few ways to expand your citation reach. Look at the towns you service outside of your physical location and research those competitors for citations unique to those towns. You can also use the log colon site search operator in Google to find different types of directory or industry opportunities you may not have uncovered. Okay. Now, as with many tasks in your local business, however, you need to ask yourself the question: should I be building this local citations myself in the first place? Okay. So it's important. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of resources too. You can hire a contractor specifically for a citation building. You can ask your SEO company to execute these tasks. Likely, if you have an SEO vendor, they're going, they're actually doing this for you already in some capacity. And you can do the work yourself on the cheap or with the use of a paid tool or multiple paid tools. So it really depends. So there are a few things you need to consider though: industry and location competition, but also resources. So as a coda in today's conversation, I explained to you how to build local citations. I give you the trains, the strategy, and now the coda. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.